I'm an old woman who roams beyond the three realms. Nobody knows how many ages I've lived through. All they see is my white hair and my hunched-over frame, so they just assume I'm some frail old lady from the mortal world. But I know the truth. I watched the heavens and earth first crack open. I watched the mountains rise and the seas fall. Eventually, I got tired of the heights, tired of the endless rules and the noise. So I shed my true form and slipped into the mortal world to find a little life. And somewhere in that long, quiet stretch of time, I found a little girl. She was born with a spirit bone, eyes bright as moonlight after fresh snow. I named her Yunwan. I taught her everything myself, how to absorb the energy of the sun and moon. I fed her the finest fruits, the purest spirit dew, all of it. I raised her inch by inch like the most tender blossom of spring, soft and delicate, but with a toughness that wouldn't break easy. I figured as long as I was around, nobody could touch her. But that day, I came back from the wilds with the spirit birds I'd hunted. I pushed open the door and there she was, lying still. No footsteps rushing out to meet me, no sound of her laughing, no steam curling off the spirit tea on the stove. The whole courtyard was silent, like someone had choked the life right out of it. The little string of bells I'd hung up for her, not a single sound. It was like the wind across the whole world just stopped. Her robes were torn and scattered, her spirit energy completely gone. Even her fingertips had gone cold. This wasn't sleep. This was death. Every last bit of life ripped out of her. Her favorite white jade hairpin still clutched in her hand, the window paper torn. Crushed spirit grass scattered across the floor. I could almost picture it, her dragging herself toward the door, waiting for me to come back. The one who brought her back was a messenger from the heavenly court. He was on his knees at the doorstep, shaking like a leaf in an autumn wind. My lady, immortal Su Shuilin said, Yunwan's entire body was full of spirit treasures. His Majesty Kai, to save her life, personally took Yunwan's spirit core and her source. And he called it her blessing. I stood there, my fingers slowly curling into a fist. The prey in my hand, crushed to pieces, I didn't even notice. I walked over slowly and gathered Yunwan into my arms. She was so light it hollowed out my chest, like holding a handful of snow about to melt away. I pressed my forehead to hers. There wasn't even a trace of warmth left. Who did this? My voice came out soft. So soft I barely recognized it as my own. Xuanyo. Just days ago, Yunwan had come running into my arms, face all flushed. Told me she and Xuanyo were in love. Said that high and mighty heavenly emperor treated her so well. Said he'd pick an auspicious day to bring her to the 9 heavens. Make her empress. Let her have it all. When she said it, her eyes were lit up. Like she was handing me her whole future to look at. She kept clinging to me, saying once she got to the 9 heavens, she'd pick me the tallest, most beautiful palace up there. Said she'd bring me all the clouds and flowers from the sky. Her eyes were crinkled with joy, every word dripping with sweetness. I had a bad feeling, but I couldn't bring myself to crush that happiness of hers. Now that light was gone, she never got her wedding. What she got instead was a scheme, love used as bait, and a theft that pushed her straight into the abyss. The heavenly court messenger went quiet for a long time. He couldn't hold it back anymore. My lady, His Majesty is the sovereign of the 3 realms. The 9 heavens are beyond your reach, you're just a mortal. You can't beat them. I ignored him, just looked down, running my fingers slowly through Yunwan's hair. Over her brows and eyes, already hollow and still. This child I raised, she used to smile so vividly. And now all that was left was this, cold and still in my arms. The fury rising in my chest slowly sank down, settled into the sharpest killing intent I'd ever felt. I've lived this long. I've seen so much life and death. I thought I was long past losing my composure over anything, but they touched Yunwan. The one soft thing in all my long years that I never wanted to see broken. Yunwan, don't be scared. I whispered right against her ear. Master's going to take Xuanyao's immortal bones apart, piece by piece, and rebuild you, all of you. With that, I tucked what remained of her into my sleeve. I looked up at the sky, eyes cold as a blade cutting through 10,000 clouds. You touched the girl I raised, Xuanyao. Did you even think to ask me first? Today, you're paying back 100 times over. In the next instant, I tapped the ground and launched straight up into the air, straight up to the 9 heavens. Behind me, the heavenly court messenger screamed in panic. My lady, aren't you a mortal? How are you flying up to heaven? His voice fell away behind me fast. After countless tens of thousands of years, I set foot in the 9 heavens again. But everything in front of me, nothing like I remembered. The palaces still gleamed gold. The sea of clouds still rolled. But whatever was at the core of it had already rotted. The gate guardians at the South Heaven Gate were all over the place. Some lounging around, some laughing and messing around, some still slacking off while on duty, flirting with the spirit maids, not a shred of discipline. Wine jugs dipped over on the cloud bridge, half-eaten fruit tossed by the gate pillars. Even the golden armor they were supposed to wear proper, hanging loose and sloppy. One look was enough. The rot here wasn't just at the top. It had eaten all the way down to the bone, top to bottom. I watched them, and I almost laughed. The order I built with my own hands, reduced to this filth. I lifted my eyes, calm as anything. Go tell Xuanyao to get out here. When they saw me, the gate guardians froze, then burst out laughing. Where'd this crazy old woman come from running her mouth at the 9 heavens? One of them leaned against a heavenly pillar, smirking. Wait, I remember now. Didn't His Majesty bring back some woman with a spirit bone from the mortal world? Then took her spirit core to heal immortal Su Shuilan. This old lady's probably that woman's family. Just some mortal relative coming all the way to the 9 heavens to demand answers? Does she have a death wish? Don't waste your breath, just throw her out. Someone had already pulled out a spirit weapon, deadly intent flickering in the light, screaming that they'd scatter my soul to nothing. Hold on. A clear, sharp female voice cut through and stopped them. It was a young immortal. She said her name was Ling Yao. Her brow was slightly furrowed, a lot more careful than the rest of them. I opened my heavenly eye, and I can't see through this old woman's origins at all. We should be careful. That made the gate guardians' expressions shift. They all started probing me with their powers. But as they kept at it, their faces went from smug to shook. No traceable origin, no identifiable true form. Not a god, not a demon. Didn't seem human either. The whole group finally stopped laughing. But someone still wasn't having it. Whatever she is, Can she really flip the heavens upside down?